Hi, this video is about empath pain to empowerment, how being sensitive is a journey that you can understand and actually find mastery in. I'm Bird, and I train and mentor healing practitioners, spiritual practitioners, coaches, empaths, all as sensitive people on a mission. If that's you, or even if you haven't quite gotten there yet because you're still dealing with some stuff, you are in the right place. So I want to introduce you to 4 phases of the empath. And as I'm talking about these, I encourage you to write them down, to look at where you might be on this path. And if you recognize yourself into different phases of this, maybe someplace you've already been, maybe someplace you're going, maybe someplace if you're a practitioner where you see your clients, where you see them stuck. And we're going to talk about these phases. So first of all, we want to talk a little bit about empath versus empathy. I'm going to make this very short and sweet here. We can all feel empathy. We can all put ourselves into someone else's shoes. We can relate to what their felt experience might be. And this is so important. As a human being, we should all be feeling empathy for each other and hopefully having others feel empathy for us and where we're at. Now, being an empath is a little bit different. It means that we're actually having a bit of a more personal experience around what is in our environment. And so this can be people, it can be places even that we're noticing things. We're feeling the felt sense inside of our body. Often, if it is our own, sometimes we have trouble figuring out whether something that we're feeling sensationally is ours or someone else's. We can have a tendency to get overwhelmed emotionally and energetically based on what's happening in our environment, in our homes, in work, out in the street, and wherever we're at. And so there is this sensational experience to it a lot of times. And it can get overwhelming. It can feel like, I'm not sure what to do with all of this. And it can feel muddy and garbled inside of our experience of what we're feeling, sensing, what we're thinking even. Are those thoughts even mine? Where is that coming from? So we really want to understand our relationship to our empathic abilities, our sensitivities, the way that we experience things, hopefully why we experience them, and then develop the tools and skills that we need to find mastery in our lived experience so that we can be of service, we can have great relationships, and we can really thrive, especially in our health and our well-being. A lot of times we end up being the canary in the coal mine, sort of sickly one who is not thriving. And we want to change this paradigm because empaths and sensitive people are here to help heal and change and open the world to beauty and healing and creativity so much. We are here to do so much. So I don't want you to be held back. So let's talk about these phases really quick. Phase 1, we're talking about the unaware empath. And so this is, some people will live their whole lives in this space. They will never understand that their sensitivities are something that can be worked with, that what they're experiencing sometimes might not be theirs, that they're taking on and feeling and being hyper aware and hyper vigilant inside of their environment. So then generally there's just coping mechanisms that come up. So we start to pathologize our experience. Maybe even others are pathologizing our experience. Social anxiety disorder, all kinds of anxiety disorders. There are many now, right? All kinds of depressive disorders, different kinds of mental disorders, emotional disorders, health issues. These can all be the manifestations of what the world is telling us is going on for us. And then we use coping mechanisms, and those might be medications and food, alcohol, shopping, staying home, staying away, becoming very reclusive and closed, not having a lot of relationships, not putting yourself out there at work, or being an entrepreneur when maybe that's what you really want to do, or going into a healing field, doing things around people. You might just pull yourself away. So we oftentimes avoid our mission and our purpose and our service in the world because our sensitivities are taking us out, they're overwhelming us, or we feel, they're weaknesses instead of the superpowers that they are. And so that's kind of this phase one, very unaware, not really aware that maybe the reactionary nature of who we are is because of this, that we're hyper vigilant and hyper aware all of the time. And that is exhausting. It's really hard to keep up on life in that way. So then, hopefully, this is maybe where you're at, maybe you're past this, who knows, but there's this awareness in phase two of the awakening empath, where there starts to be this awareness of, oh, there is such a thing as an empath. I am that thing. I am feeling everything. I'm not sure what's mine. I'm not sure what's theirs. Oh, there's this archetypal energy. We start to identify with this archetype of the empath. A lot of people get stuck here. I see a lot of people on Facebook groups really stuck in this phase because they become so identified with this energy, this awareness of being an empath. They actually use it as a way to be a victim, as a way to stay in a martyr position in their family and in their community and their work, and don't go any further than this. So we're still looking at the coping mechanisms, but now we have a vocabulary and we have some context. So we really also might be weaponizing this, being an empath, against other people, that other people should understand us more or should be more patient with us, or, because we are this thing. And, other people are being toxic. Other people have personality disorders. Everybody's a narcissist, right? And we're being harmed in our sensitivity. So we can really become over-identified with this. And then generally, then we start to try to build something. We try to build some protection and safety for ourselves, maybe find some tools on the internet, and we're trying to build shields, or we're trying to stay home. We're trying to protect ourselves sometimes unconsciously by putting on a lot of weight, which is helping to protect us from the world. There's lots of things that we start to do in this phase. Now, hopefully, we'll get to phase 3, right, and start to heal some of this stuff. Because as we are in this space where we're only the victim, we're only the martyr, we're only at the whim and mercy of our sensitivities, we're not looking quite deeply enough yet. Once we start going into phase 3, which is the healing empath, then we start to recognize, oh, some of this empath stuff, this is coping mechanism from my childhood. This is the result of trauma, often, extended trauma. We start to realize maybe even our childhood that we didn't see as abusive because it wasn't so bad, actually was abusive. Or we start to see that we develop these coping mechanisms in our house to be able to be hypervigilant and hyper aware, feeling and taking in all of the emotions and the energy around us so that we could try to stay safe. Once that light bulb goes off and we get really clear on that, then we're like, okay, I got to do some work. I got to dig into myself. I need to start looking at, getting some support. Usually it's hard to do this on your own. So it's about getting support, developing practices, starting to learn how you are personally processing energy for others, and then develop new tools and skills, right? Just kind of squish those together. It was not a good word. So it's important at this phase, as you're healing, to have help and support and context for what's going on, because it can be confusing. And as you start going into this stuff, especially from your childhood, you can dig up things that you might not have been prepared for. So if you feel like that's happening for you, get some help, okay? Now, there's more awareness in this phase. There's more consciousness. So then that realization that self-care is the priority comes in. Oh, damn. Hold on. We've got to shift a lot of beliefs and a lot of mindset in this phase around, I'm taking care of myself. Number one priority, I'm taking care of myself. Even though maybe I've been taking care of everybody else my whole life, my family, my kids, people at my job, everybody. But now I see the only way I can continue without actually getting sick and overwhelming myself is to make self-care my priority, and that I need more. I need more than my partner. I need more than my parents did. I need more than other people that I know. Usually kind of pisses you off, right? To think, why do I need more? I don't want to be that guy. I just want to be this stoic guy who doesn't feel anything. Well, sorry. That's not what's up. You need more. Alone time, energy practices, sleep, nutritious food, quiet silence with nothing going on. And to function at a higher level, to actually thrive, to be of service, to have more joy, more excitement in your life, to have more friends, you have to change a lot of stuff usually. And a lot of us don't want to change things. Let's just face it. We don't want to change things. We don't want to put ourselves as the priority, because that's going to make us have to change a lot of beliefs. It's going to force us to look at how we don't believe that we're worthy of love. We don't believe that we're worthy of rest. We don't believe that we're worthy of alone time. And to confront the things from our past that have contributed to us getting to this place where we're so super sensitive and we're overwhelmed by the world or by the idea of doing our work, and we're not doing it. So this is like, we're swimming, keep swimming, keep swimming. You got it. Keep going. I promise that it's going to pay off if you're willing to go through this process. If you are, then woohoo, you get to phase 4 development of the empath, which is the evolved empath. Now here, you get to be in service, on mission, on purpose. You get to have better relationships everywhere in your life. You get to have better boundaries, say no, say yes, understand why you're saying no and saying yes, because it's based on what's actually true for you. You get to recognize and feel emotions and energy that are around you and not take them on, not absorb that energy, to have the practices and the tools that help you to clear that energy when you need to clear that energy. to stay aligned and centered within yourself so that the life that you're living and what you're creating is actually what you want. So that at the end of your life, you're not looking back and thinking, wow, if I had only known, I would have done things differently, because this isn't actually what I wanted. This is what someone else wanted. This is what was asked of me. This is what I thought. Now, this is when there is a strong, robust system. A lot of times, living this life of having these things that have happened that have created this system that takes on a lot, that's aware of a lot, and then going out and trying to do the work, especially if you're doing healing work and so on, it can very much make the system not very robust. You don't feel strong. You don't feel like you have a lot of energy. You maybe are struggling with autoimmune issues or exhaustion, adrenal fatigue. These are the things that happen over time. So you want to get to this place where the energy that you hold, that you contain, is strong and robust and can hold what's going on in the world without collapsing and falling apart. And that is when we get to be this empowered empath. The empowered empath is so important to this world, because the empowered empath can step into a situation and can feel and notice and know and understand and receive inspiration and divine connection and intuition, and can help and support other people on their healing path, can relate to, understand, and have patience, kindness, and compassion and empathy for others. Because if you noticed, if sometimes people in that early phase of the empath, they don't have a lot of empathy for others, actually. Even though they're feeling everything, they don't have the stability to actually be with someone. It's too painful for them. It's too triggering and confrontational. We want to get to the place where we can sit with anything, be out in the world and be okay. That's where we want to be, so that we can thrive and we can have an impact and we can do our purpose, whatever our purpose is. Could be anything. I don't know what your purpose is, but I want you to know what your purpose is, and I want you to follow your purpose. So I would love to hear, comment, I don't know, message me, like, tell me, where are you? Where do you see your clients? Maybe where do you see yourself get stuck in this, these phases in the evolution of the empath? Because what I know is that we need support, we need help, we need guidance, we need tools, and we need practices, physical, energetic practices. And that is a lot of what helps us. And we're all in this together. I believe in you, and I am grateful for you to give me this time. I encourage you to check out my other videos. I'll see you there.